Now, one thing is for certain when it comes to Meghan Markle's series with Love Meghan on Netflix, we already know that it's not only number one, a ratings disaster, but number two, we have a lot of Netflix customers that are leaving in droves as we speak, not just because of With Love Meghan. I mean, that is one contributing factor, but the other thing has a lot to do with the rate increase, right? The price increase for the many plans over at Netflix. Another reason as to why people are just seeking other streaming platforms to actually watch alternative content, whether it's movies or television programs, whatever it may be. But focusing on Meghan Markle, there's been a lot of drama going on between herself, Netflix CEO Greg Peters, along with the many executives, the board of directors there, which are heavily divided, and we have a lot to go over. Let's discuss this. This is Mike Zero. Subscribe if you're new, and like this video to see future updates. You can also follow me at Mike01. I thank you also very much for the great and kind support. So there's a major misconception when it comes to the whole season 2 drama surrounding With Love Meghan. Now, one thing about this that we already talked about many months ago is that they already had pre-plans for a season 2. They had everything baked in there as basically a contingency plan for this series. Then it was canceled. Then Meghan Markle stepped in. She desperately tried to reverse that action, and it seems that she was successful at doing so. But the misconception is that there are also a lot of other factors into that. Now, one thing about all of this is that we already know that there's a lot of things going on with Meghan Markle right now, and what she wants to do for additional footage catered for season 2, quote unquote. And there's a reason why I'm saying quote unquote is because it wasn't necessarily planned to be a season 2, so to speak. We're talking about a combined figure of additional extra footage of season 1 that's going to be used for this supposed next season, along with the fact that they are also using deleted footage and also planning to actually make more scenes filmed on set, whether it's in studio or on location. Now, let's get into the actual meat of all of this, because this is where it gets interesting. Now, with Meghan Markle still on the damage control train in a desperate move to water down the backlash for her show with Love Meghan, one massive development going on currently involves more to do with Meghan Markle and what she recently did toward Netflix that landed her a season 2 for the show. Now, it turns out that in the middle of the division between the many different board members over at Netflix, Meghan was not only warning of taking legal action against the board for previously canceling their pre-plans for season 2, but also how Meghan was going to publicly make her contract details widely known to the public if Netflix moved ahead with keeping season 2 canceled. It turns out that this put the board in a very complex situation, since Meghan Markle's contract was best described as an expensive one at that, where the other half of the board wanted her to stay. That side of the board members convinced the others to finally just move along with season 2 and get it over and done with. It turns out that season 2 being entirely filmed already is not necessarily true. Tons of extra footage that was shot and left over for season 1 will spill in and be used for season 2 in combination with the usage of deleted scenes that were stripped away from the first one. Plans for additional footage, however, to be shot are set to be filmed by this June to prepare for the fall of 2025. Now, Meghan Markle is already demanding Netflix to allow many of her political beliefs to slip into season 2 this time for With Love Meghan, where she wants to expand the series beyond making it into a cooking show. The extra footage that was shot for season 2 essentially added up to the length for another 8 episodes. Technically speaking, they shot 16 episodes in one shot. Meghan Markle is already getting the majority of the board, yet again, to fall into her demands to turn season 2 into a more politically driven cooking show, where conversations of Donald Trump's presidency will slip its way into the series. In addition to that, she also plans to bring on more celebrity cameos for season 2. So, guys, let me just stop here for one moment. Now, the fact that more celebrity cameos are going to be shot for season 2 on top of the extra footage that did involve other personalities, other celebrities, apart from what she actually wants to do for the addition of the show, I think it just goes to show you exactly how far Meghan Markle is really willing to go to really put Netflix in a very complex situation, to the point of exposing contract details when it comes to how baked in her pre-plans for season 2 was supposedly in her contract. And I guess Netflix really just couldn't shake it off at that point. But what's interesting about this is the fact that you have a lot of things going on with Meghan Markle's ways of really kind of intimidating Netflix, so to speak. That's what it really sounds like, right? That she was going to go very much public with her contract details, with the overall flaws of the Netflix executives, the board of directors, etc. in her mind. And I think that at the end of the day, she just believes that she's almighty and powerful to the point that she can do whatever she pleases. That's basically what her attitude comes across like, right? Now, when you look at With Love, Meghan, people are universally rejecting the show outright. There is no way that the majority of people are loving this series, alright? We've seen this on Rotten Tomatoes, we've seen this on other critic sites, where you are seeing a record-breaking low for Netflix, alright? A lot of people are just not even getting past episode 2 or episode 3 at the maximum for this show. Alright, that's less than half of the series for season 1 that people are generally tuning into just to check it out and see what's going on there. Now, say what you want, some people could say that there were a lot of hate watchers for this show, as opposed to regular critics that were tuning in to get a actual, opinion, to get an actual, real, authentic view of the show, to actually speak their mind. Who knows? But what's interesting about this, too, continuing on, this is where it gets even worse, so strap in your seatbelts. The board, however, is planning to not go for a season 3, as this time, they won't be actually shooting an overabundance of footage. Only if ratings are superior feedback-wise, according to the board, will they move along with a season 3 for 2026. Now, Meghan is also pressuring the Netflix board and CEO Greg Peters to bring on some political figures into her show when she talks about politics. She already is desperately trying to get California Governor Gavin Newsom to make a cameo on the show to cook with her for one of the planned episodes, along with other political figures that are trying to expand their reach, obviously for the 2028 election. Now guys, again, we know that she visited the LA fires, we know that she has met with Gavin Newsom before in the past. It really does kind of piece itself together like a big part of the puzzle at this point, right? So when you're trying to get political figures on the show, I think that's mistake number 1, not just on her part, but also on Netflix's part, for really kind of even considering to move forward with that idea, and how a good chunk of the board are actually all for it. Netflix CEO Greg Peters is warning the board, to no avail, by the way, that bringing on Gavin Newsom would be a terrible mistake by making the series too political on top of being controversial. However, roughly 60% of the board, 60, is in favor of Meghan's plans for all of that by bringing on Gavin Newsom to With Love, Meghan Season 2. Now again, they already have basically so much extra footage filmed that it actually added up to 8 more episodes, and they're kind of spinning that into making it into a season 2, so to speak. They're kind of twisting things around there to the public, but they also want to shoot additional footage to lengthen each episode, if that makes sense, guys. So currently each episode for season 2, by using extra footage of season 1, isn't necessarily as long as they actually hoped for. They want to make it longer now, and that's exactly why they will be shooting more in June of this year. We'll have a lot more to talk about the behind the scenes details surrounding all of that in the coming weeks. But again, like I've said before, this is not going to help Netflix. I would like to hear what everyone has to say about all this below in the comments, and if you guys did enjoy the content for today, make sure to drop a thumbs up on this video to support the channel, and I will catch you guys later.